Something went wrong. YouTube chat. Is YouTube chat not working? It's just like period? Huh. Well, that would suck. Privacy. Oh, private. Oh, God. Why is this not set to live? There we go. Oh, that's on me for setting up a new stream this late at night. Was that the reason I couldn't pop out the live chat? That was indeed the reason I couldn't pop up the live chat. Okay, so that can go back over here. This can go over here. This can go up here. And everything can be good. Hello, everyone. Hello. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing very well. Might seem a little random to you guys. I'm just doing this kind of on a whim. I say as I've set up a very nice format for this. I am a big fan of Gunpla. I've recently gotten into the hobby in the last year or two, and I've really taken to it. I thought it would be fun to occasionally to just do a nice, relaxing, casual stream while I listen to a podcast or something in the background, and I'll have it playing at a very low volume. I stream on Saturday, that's new. Yeah, no, I just thought I'd be doing a nice, relaxing little thing for people and kind of a nice chill stream for once. Nothing inflammatory or over the top, just something to relax to and you can have on the background. You don't need to pay too much attention to. It's not like you're going to learn any deep secrets or truths about anything here. Nothing about writing necessarily, just kind of whatever comes to mind while I work on something that I like, which is a nice hobby, which is Gunpla. And I thought the best way to kick this off is I have never once done a Gunpla model of the RX-78-2, which is the original Gundam, if I understand correctly. I have watched a bit of the original Gundam series. I got through a little bit of it. Didn't really click with me. I do intend to get back to it one day. I know I'm probably very quiet, but it's late at night, and I didn't want to bother anyone. So I just thought that, like, pretty good idea to just start with the RX-78 since I don't have a model of it yet, and the 40th anniversary one is apparently really well loved for the high grade version. So I'm just going to start getting into this. How's my day been? My day's been kind of weird. Good and bad. My sister's cat is not doing very well, which means my sister is not doing very well, and I feel really bad for her. And I'm really hoping that both of them pull through fine. Tell me the secrets to writing now, Phoenix Man. Not happening. I never spoke that one of the last conversations had in the OG Gundam was someone's mommy's issues. Yeah, I hear that's the case. But no, why is this here? Gundam ASMR stream. Effectively, that's what this is. It's going to be Gunpla ASMR, and I've been sitting on this for a while because I've just been so busy. Oh, thank you, Timothy. Yeah, we gunplaying tonight. This is perfect time. I decided to start cooking a frittata and now get Phoenix Gundam ASMR to listen to while I cook. Well, I'm glad I could supply that. Kind of like my grandpa's been doing very well like, the last 2 days. Yeah, so, like, that's been the bad part of my day. But it's something that I can't help with. I can't really do much, so it wasn't like it affected me directly. It's more I'm worried about my family. But otherwise, the rest of my day was actually really, really productive. I got a lot of work done. So it's been, like, otherwise a really good day. It's just one really bad black spot on it. So yes, let's crack open. I've already taken a peek inside for this. And in fact, I've already put in here the decal set which I've thought about doing decals here on stream, but again, I felt like starting with the RX-78 was the smart move. Of course, we have the instruction booklet as all the... This is basically... Gunpla, to me, is the evolution of Lego. To be honest, I'm a bit anxious that the stream is a perfect thing to try and relax to. Okay, perfect. I hope I'm still entertaining enough, because I'm going to be relatively quiet. I'm going to be listening to a pod. You can see in the bottom right corner, I'm going to be listening to Pro Jared playing through Clair Obscur. Spoilers for that, probably. So warning about that, guys. Although it's at 10% volume, so I mean it shouldn't be too invasive. But yeah, this is just I consider this advanced Lego. You're basically just making the Lego bricks yourself. You're printing them out. You're getting all these little instructions on how to put it all together. It looks complicated at first, but trust me, it really ain't. It's very simple. It's a very relaxing little hobby. I'm going to... The only downside to doing this is I do not have as much desk space as I used to, so I have to put things in different places. Now, when you first get Gunpla, it comes in these little brackets. I believe they're called writers. I'm not really up on the slang. I just know enough to Google things if I need to. But these hold all your parts, and you've got to snip them out. And that's why I have in here a specialty tool for that. I have, if my box will open, that's right, there are latches on the side, remember that. Get little nippers, little hobby nippers. You also get other things. So this is for my light rider. Very important. Is this my old one? My old X-Acto knife? I cannot tell if this will be good enough or not for what I need it. And we'll get down to the process in a little bit. Always wanted to try Gundam building at some point. I was really into assembling Battle B Daimon when I was a kid, which Gundam doesn't look all too different from. It probably isn't. Good vibes and prayers for your family. Happy to see a chill stream. I'm glad I can provide. Yeah, no, I was nervous about it too, but I decided to take the dive with Witch from Mercury, and I got Gundam Aerial, and I remember I assembled it on the floor of my study before I even moved back into my bedroom. It was a bit of a chore, and I definitely didn't do a lot of things right. Like, I didn't even, like, I had to apply the markers afterwards, but I'm going to be applying them live as we go. Do I have my ink drip one? Where's my ink drip one? Because I was going to use that this stream. Yeah, ink drip. So there's a couple of different types of marker, and we'll get into that, because there's a kind of a multi-step process that I typically follow. But first, let us see what writers we're going to need for the first step of this. First problem, we find where the first step is. In these instructions, it can sometimes be a little tricky. Okay, so here we go. Step one is going to be the torso. Interesting. Most kits have you start with the head. So that's kind of a fascination. Alright. They are not laying out which parts we're going to need. It's just telling us... Because typically speaking, someone get the Joe that hates. As much as I would appreciate that, let the man rest. He has done more than enough in his lifetime for this stream, for my channel. What is your favorite Mech Gundam series? Oh, I love Code Geass, but I'm not really like the mechs in it aren't always what I like. I really liked Armored Core. Armored Core 6 was freaking awesome. And in fact, you'll notice up on the list in the future, I've got the Nightfall. We're not doing that now because I plan to paint that, and that'll be my first foray into painting, and that's very scary. I gotta get my drink. Bring it over here. So let's see. Favorite. A lot of my favorite mech series have nothing to do with the mechs themselves, and that's kind of the problem. Like AC, I think is probably the go-to because it actually has like the mechs and the setting play into each other really well. As opposed to, I'm not really a fan of the design of the Nirvash in Eureka 7. Like, it grew on me, obviously, for the nature of the show, but it's still nowhere near my favorite mech design. I really like some of the designs in Witch from Mercury. Gundam Seed has my favorite Gundam of all time. In fact, I can show you guys. If I can just get my camera, I can show you some of the ones I've already built. Come on, come on. Alright. Here we go. So we've got Elfrith, Ariel, Ariel Rebuild, and Calibarn, which might be my favorite Gundam from that series. And then up here, we've got an action figure Freedom Gundam, a Rising Freedom Gundam, I want to say this is called. No, Strike Freedom, I'm pretty sure. Or is it Freedom 2.0? I don't know. It's the one from the movie. My mom got me that one. We've got the Master Grade. This is my pride and joy, the Master Grade Freedom Gundam. It's beautiful. I love it. And then we have the Zowart Heavy, which I love that one. It's my favorite, probably Mook. My favorite Mook from the Gundam series. And yes, it is all very dusty. I'm terrible at dusting. Is it gonna happen every Saturday or just once? I'm periodically, just whenever I feel like it. I don't know if I'll do the entire build on stream, but I'll periodically just like, hey, you know, might as well put this up. Sometimes I do it in solitude, so it's not going to be consistent. But I do plan on doing this occasionally from now on. I've been meaning to do this for a while. Alright, so what do we need? We need writers. A favorite series? I keep forgetting to answer the question. That's rough. I don't know. Favorite mech series? Power Rangers. I'm kidding. Well, I do love me some Power Rangers. Oh, Robert, thank you. I hope everyone enjoys getting caught in that. Enjoy your emotes. Favorite Gundam mech series? G Gundam's really fun, but it's not really my favorite. You've caught me at a tongue. I don't know what to answer. There's a lot of good ones and there's a lot of wacky ones. Wait, why is there? Oh, is it gonna pop up for every single one of you guys? Also, did that not? 1 minute. Alert box. Oh dear. Okay, well, 1 minute. Blending mode. Additive. That should. There it goes. Now it looks right. Alright. Well, I can't really answer the question fully. I loved Witch from Mercury, but it was flawed in its second season. It really needed more time to cook. What do you think of the new Gundam anime? You see, I've been told... I watched the first episode, thought it was alright, but I was told not to watch it until they made the full movie available, because apparently did a better job of pacing the first few episodes. So I've been sitting on it. I've been waiting to. I actually ordered the GQ already, the GQX, because it's a cool fucking design. Alright, so we need... I'm just going to get these all out of the plastic. Oh, that's my meds alarm. A minute. Build better already. You ever seen a mecha anime called Gargantia on the Verdurous Planet? Yes, I have in fact seen Gargantia on the Verdurous Planet. Made by Gen Urobuchi. There's a movie, I did not know that. Yeah, it had a special premiere in the in theaters. Alright, so let's get all these writers out of plastic, because Lord knows we don't need the plastic. The little stickers, they always bring you little tiny stickers for things. They only have one sticker? Really? Really? I guess they really are leaning on you getting the decals. Put that down there for now. Feel better already, IKN, you sassy motherfucker. Beam sabers. I always enjoy the fact they send the beam sabers, even though the beam sabers are like one of my least favorite elements. That's why I'm interested a little bit in IBO, because I know they use a lot of physical weapons. Okay, so let's see, what do we want here? Let's sort. We need F1 at least. We need F1 and F2. So, and A. What do we got here? This is E1. This is C1. This is B2. What do we need? We just need everything. Oh my god, we just need everything. Oh, you're just here for a second, I know nothing. Oh, that's a shame. Have you ever read a webtoon called Mage and Demon Queen? I have, in fact. I recognize this little guy. I have a Puka from Mage and Demon Queen. I love this little guy. He's so cute. It's one of my favorite things I've ever ordered. Okay, so let's see. F1, A, F2, A again, E1, F1, E1, F1, A, F1, B1 at the very end. Okay, so B1 at the very end. Otherwise, it's F1 and F2, which I believe are these two. A, which has a lot of the multicolor, which makes sense. And yeah, that sounds about right. B is only at the very end. Oh wait, E. Where is E1? Is E1. Need that briefly. Because the rest of these we can put aside. In fact, I'm going to put this down here too. Because, yeah. They reminded me of Ewok. I think they are better than Ewoks, easily. Alright, so... First things first, let us go through what we have. Now, everyone has their own method, I imagine, to doing this. I've never actually watched someone else gunpla outside of an instructional video, but everyone has their own sense of, like, organizing things. So, F and A are the main focal ones we'll have to get out here. I'm actually going to go through and clip out periodically all of them in order of where they're supposed to appear. So, we have A13 and A12, which are these two right here. Use your nippers to get right in there. You clip them out. And for the record, this is a little bit of a messy process. You will have scraps and stuff on your table. I cut the wrong thing. There's one. There's two. There's my alarm again. Now, what's interesting is these are not clean cuts. You can see if it'll focus. It won't focus, will it? Yeah, I can't get that to focus. The autofocus is off. The edges of these have these little nubs left on there, and that's what the X-Acto knife is for, but we'll get to that. So those will go here, because they're part of step 1. Then where's the next A? Got A2 and A14, so A14 is here. And then A2 is up here. Let's do that. And I always give myself a lot of wiggle room on the nubs, because if you cut too close and you shave things off, you can't fix that. I get to try the business after I get a new pair of glasses. Well, that's always fun. That's a good way to bring in a new pair of glasses. So these two will go down here, because that's where they are in the order step. Then we have, just random one, my favorite mecha anime episode reference in normally non-mecha series. Mine are Little Witch Academia and Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken and various other cartoons. Oh. That's a hard one. Slayers has a really good one where Lena gets a mech and she's an absolute maverick with it. A3 and A15. Yeah, I just realized I was going to make myself a sandwich before I streamed. That hasn't happened. A3. Alright, I'm going to turn on my background noise now. Because I think it's about time. I'm going to lower it down, though, so I can concentrate. Hello, I just started Gurren Lagann. Why not? Alright, so... Yep, A3. This is all in this step down here. And that's it for A. We don't need A anymore. At least I hope not. Now, F1. F1 23. That's 25, 28, so 23. Ah, there's 23. Ooh. So what's interesting about this HG is that it's got a lot of quality on par with Perfect Grade. Which, if you don't know the grades, Perfect Grade is, like, relatively small, but incredibly well detailed. So that goes up here, and then F1 12. And let's do... This is apparently, because it's an anniversary one, they wanted to really make it nice. I'm going to turn this down a little more. I really don't need it that loud. So we've got that there, and then F1... F122 and F120. F120. Okay, there's that. I keep seeing, like, I know this is a chill stream, so I don't expect chat to be very active, but I keep looking up and not seeing it moving, and I'm like, is something going wrong? Paranoia strikes, man. So F19, like, I'm just clearing out this one space of the board. this here. And then we get F126, F125. Oh, that was already broke. Interestingly, one thing I'm noticing about this particular one is that the strength, this is a very thin rider. The plastic on this seems pretty flimsy, at least in the nubs. There's a couple that have already broken off. I wonder if there's something to that. But yeah, this goes down here, and I believe that's the rest for F1. Favorite anime from this season? I haven't watched any anime from this season aside from that Gundam. What was your favorite? Celtic, are you going to play Fate Extra Record? Why do you ever think that I would want to play a Fate game? This is F12. And then we need F2 again. Anywhere else? No, we literally just needed it for that one part. Well, that's obnoxious. Wait, did I? Okay, good. Don't play Fate game. Yuri? That way. It's not worth it. Look, I've seen the Yuri that comes out of Fate, and it lands you a criminal record in basically every state on the planet. I'm watching 33 right now. Sort of. It's behind me. Okay, so this is B, which are at the very end. What we need is E, which means we need E5. Okay, and the Fate extra games are good. X to doubt, my friend. X to doubt. That's E5. You need E4. Now, one thing that I recommend having on hand, because this is how it goes, you're going to get a lot of nubs and a lot of dust. So I recommend having like a desk vacuum on hand. Just you can get these mini ones for like $20. They're great. E1, F, 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 F. Okay, that's all of F. E1. All right. And then finally, the last B's are the beam sabers. All right. So there we have it. These are the pieces that we're going to do tonight. All right. We're not going to do any more than that. We keep it pretty simple. So, to people in chat, do you prefer dubs or subs? I've come to appreciate dubs. I used to be very much subs were strong, but it depends on the anime. It does, yeah. It depends on the quality of the dub, if I'm being honest. Okay, so now, here comes one of the tedious parts. You get the nubs, and you just... trying to do this. It's not going to show up on camera, is it? You just gently shave it off. And the goal here is twofold. For one, you want to shave it down so that it's a smooth surface, which we will be sanding it shortly. Watch what you want. That's where I stand on dub or sub. I mean, there are some dubs and subs that are recommendable. Like me and Twy are going through right now Wakfu, which I love. It's great. And we're going through the English dub. But one thing that's notable about the English dub is that the English dub is horribly, horribly balanced. The team that did it did not know what they were doing when it came down to audio balancing. The French version sounds a lot better and is objectively a stronger dub. The only thing that's different is that the main antagonist of the first season is incredible in English, and I think it's partly because he's a bad actor. It's kind of interesting. Watching Cinderella Grey makes me want an Uma dub just to see how they would do the voices. Interesting. I've never watched any of the Uma shows. I've heard about them. I have a friend that's obsessed with them. I mean, I will always hold that I think the dub for Steins Gate is incredible. I will not hear slander towards that. I think J. Michael Tatum does a fantastic job as Ocarine. You gotta be careful sometimes, because if you cut the wrong thing, you can't fix that. That's the key with Gunpla. You can always subtract, but adding is not something that I've ever learned how to do. With mobile suits, we're in Earth Defense Force 2025. They get rocked. There are already mechs in Earth Defense Force 2025. What do you think of Transformers Cybertron seasons? I've never seen Transformers Cybertron. I used to prefer dubs, then I was both, but after seeing SAG-AFTRA strike stuff, I'm primarily subs. Some of that was justified, some of that wasn't. I'm not the most informed, but I know there was some strikes over AI, which they are very much in the right to have demanded, and they actually ultimately did not win. Everyone get ready. There's going to be AI voiced dubs, and they're going to be using the Japanese actors, and everyone's going to praise it because it's going to be so accurate to the original, and I'm going to be sitting here like, no, please no, God no. The third and final entry of the Unicron trilogy. I'm considering making. What would happen if Earth Defense Force themselves had access to these mobile suits, since the mechas they are a bit slow? I mean, I guess that's fair. Text-to-speech voice acting, that sounds like a disaster. Wait, it wouldn't be text-to-speech. I mean, you've already heard AI voice acting. If you've heard anything with Darth Vader since Kenobi, they've used AI for that, and it's only gotten better. Like, I can't say that it's gotten... It was convincing at first, but the more you listen to it, the worse it gets. But that won't last forever. AI keeps improving. AI is insane, and it scares the hell out of me, because I think we're rushing into technology before we're morally equipped to handle it. Like, there's one thing with gotta go to work, see you next stream, certain. See you, Aiden. Have a good night. Enjoy work, I suppose, if you can. And if you can't, I hope it's swift and painless. Messages. I've heard about Toei's announcement because I'm still hoping it's misinformation. What was Toei's announcement? They were going to start integrating AI in some way, shape, or form? Because I'm not surprised. Everyone's hopping on the AI train, even though it's not going to be profitable at all. Gotta be careful around the ball joints. But what's nice about ball joints is you know they're not going to be seen, so you don't have to be as careful with them. You just gotta be careful not to distort the size too much. It would be pretty entertaining if the story was super serious. It would. It could be. I think ultimately it would be. You could get really good text to speech. The downside of doing this stream is I'm showing off how long ago I last did a build, because it's been a couple of months since I've done it, because I've been sitting on this. Okay. Okay. There we go. Yeah, got a little off there. Oops. That's not great. Voice AI. Whenever real people image AI are the only real ones to fear. I've heard that it's already been used to falsely accuse people. You mean deepfakes? Like those kinds of things? Like AI version of deepfakes, whatever you want to call it. Fabrications. No, it's not. You don't understand. There's a lot of copyright stuff that goes into it. Property theft is huge. It's already been massive in the art community. AI is not a creative. It cannot create, not the way it is currently. Because it's not AI, it's VI, it's virtual intelligence. But you're right. Those fabrications are terrifying to think about. And I think it's going to go the opposite direction people think. I think there will be a brief spat where everyone will be accusing everyone. But I think after that, everyone will become numb to it within like a year. No one will believe anything. And that's the real scary thing about it. I wish I remembered if I had swapped out my knife tip or not. Because I don't want to waste a perfectly good knife tip. But at the same time, you gotta make sure your knife is sharp. If it's not sharp, it's not gonna cut what you need it to. And if you don't get a clean cut, things don't look quite as good. Okay. Now onto this. Alright, this I gotta be extra careful with. Because this is the chassis. You will not believe the number of times. Do I read manga? Yes, I do. I have actually a huge backlog I need to get on top of, but there's a couple of things I've stayed on top of regularly. There's a manhwa that I read currently. There's actually a couple of manhwa that I read currently. There's like a mercenary enrollment, um, which is a guilty pleasure if I'm being completely honest. There's what I think is genuinely good is I Will Conquer This Family. That's a really fun romance and pseudo isekai, I would say. Oh, I gotta be careful with this nub. Oh no. What other manga am I on top of? Whenever it comes out, Machikado Mazoku. Um, Twy and I are reading together. Oh, we can either read that chapter tomorrow. Um, Shugokara Jewel Joker, which, if you've seen Shugokara or read it, it has a sequel out that's being updated. I think it's on chapter like 7 or 8 now. Now, admittedly, those chapters are ridiculously long. They're like 3 chapters of an average manga length. Now Jared's going to drop his hot take. Oh. Oh, hey, Billy. How's it going? Welcome to the captain's quarters. Did I nick it? Oh no, I nicked it. No. Oh well. Just have to rationalize that as battle damage. Want a donut would be perfect dessert. Honestly, I could go for a donut right now. I'm watching my weight. I've been gaining pounds, but my god, I could go for a donut right now. Mm. Questions to the chat. What is your favorite kind of donut? Or what kind of and after that, are there any donuts that you've heard of that you would want to try to see if that you think would be your favorite? Because I'm weird in that I like chocolate cake donuts, but I just I know a lot of people think that's blasphemy. They say that yeast donuts are the best. No, no, I think they're great. They're light and fluffy. They're an excellent treat. Nowhere near as filling. How very French. Strawberry cream filled for you. Glazed blueberry wheat is my personal fave. Wow, I am generic as fuck. Now, I've realized recently I really like cream cheese frosting. I wonder how a donut with cream cheese frosting would taste. Might be really good. Or it could be bad. But I don't know, you can't really go wrong with cream cheese frosting. Grasshopper chocolate donut with M&M on top is my favorite. I would like to try the Homer donut. Mmm. Apple fritters. Ooh. I'm not really one for fruits, but apples are one of my exceptions. I really like apples, especially apple flavored things and apple flavored sweets. They really get me. You gotta be kidding me. Why is it shaped? No, just those just rolled right off. That's perfect. Just a little bit of trim though. You know what I had today that was really good? There's very few good like Asian food places in my area because milk toast Midwestern American can't handle a little bit of Asian spice. Um, but there's a ramen shop called Rokaru Ramen. It's I really wish I could do more for them because I really like their food. Um, they have a good curry. I ordered curry today, and what I do is I actually get a side of chili oil with it, and I just dump that sucker in, nice and hot. And today, for the first time, I decided I'm going to, instead of just leaving it in the plastic bowl, I'm going to actually transfer it to a larger bowl and mix it all in before I even try eating it. The curry rice with torikatsu, fried chicken. I mixed it all in. It was heavenly. I've been on a high all day because of that. Like, my stomach has been filled up until now, and I ate it at like 1. It's currently like 10, 10:30. Try curry from an Indian restaurant with oddly sweet. Curry is great. People think that curry has to be spicy. You get just really nice curry. It's a very tasty, savor. It's more like a gravy than anything else. If you described it as gravy and gave it to someone, they would think it's great. Great V. Um, Indian curry is fine. I actually prefer butter chicken. Butter chicken is delicious. But that makes sense because it's just butter, tomato sauce, and chicken. It's amazing. Oh, and heavy cream. You ever get a chance, try out butter chicken. It's good stuff. When I was up in Vancouver visiting Twy, which I'm hoping to do again this year, I gotta actually start scheduling for that. We went to a place that had butter chicken. Oh, why am I blanking on the name? It's the French gravy on top of fries, poutine, butter chicken poutine, which was good. Okay, what was next on this? Um, it was this. That's what I was working on. This is where you gotta be careful. You can forget what you're doing very easily if you don't keep track of it. And you miss things, so you need to clean. Oh, he's fighting what's his face from Metroid Prime. Okay, that's what he's doing. Okay. The only downside to doing it this way is when I need to get to the sanding, I forget sometimes where the nubs are because they already come off pretty clean. I remember enjoying lemon flavored ones. I've never had a lemon flavored donut. Lemon flavored sweets I typically like, I think, but I rarely have them because they're typically chocolate offered, and I prefer chocolate over lemon when it comes down to sweets. Not when it comes down to my drinks. I like I like citrus in my drinks, and in my like savory meals, I find citrus. I like sour. I like sour a lot. You tell him, Jared. It should be. I don't. I have no idea how to tell how invasive the audio for this might be. Actually, it looks like it's not even following up at all. Is that right? It's just okay. Okay, let's see if I do that. Is model building difficult? No, no, it's easy as pie. It's basically just a slightly more involved. Like the way I describe it, it's slightly more involved Lego because you get a sheet like this that walks you through it. Especially the modern builds, they all come in English. I have had them come in Japanese before, and I've had to work with that. That's for like a lot of the older kits that pre 2010. But this is straightforward. It tells you what you need. All you really need, theoretically speaking, is one of these, and you're good to go. Now, what you would want to do is get a better kit. Like, if you really want it to look really nice, you get this. You get an X-Acto knife. You get something to sand with. I use sanding sticks. These are actually pretty worn down. I might have to swap them out sometime soon. Do I have any more in here? That was all of them? Okay. And you make it look nice. Like, then you also use a black pen to make things really pop. And once you get involved far enough, you can get like paint and such. You can really customize it. But no, at the very base, you just get one of these and you pop things. You cut out the pieces and you put them all together. That's all it really takes. Oh, shit, that was a piece of flake. I find it very relaxing in a strange way because it is stressful. Model building can get stressful where you're trying to be very focused and it's like, but I need that. I need that in ways like it makes me feel like I've my mind in the right place. Like it gives me something just to focus on for a prolonged period of time while I'm listening to something in the background. I find it very rewarding to at the very end because you see the progress coming together as you go. And for someone with rampant ADHD like I do, it's very rewarding. close to the sun on this one. Sandy's gonna have to take care of that. How many model kits do I have? Completed, I have done 6 total model kits. Yeah, I've done 6 total, but I have more than that. I have the 6 that I've completed. I have this Nightfall. I have the one that I'm working on right now, which is the RX-78-2. I have a perfect grade Gundam Wing. And I can't lift it out because it is freaking huge. I have a Liger Zero Schneider? No. Liger Zero X. I got a lot of these for Christmas, and I just haven't cracked into them because I wanted to do them on stream potentially. You know, I wanted to show off my model kits. If you're interested, I have shown off the. I did show off all the other ones that I had earlier in the stream at the very beginning. Ooh. I think she does. I'm not really all that sure, though. I forgot to get water. I'm going to need that for the filing. That already came off. I'm tempted fate trying to scrape that. I know I've been eyeing Mugendramon, aka Machine Dramon. It's one of my favorite Digimon, and there's a model kit for it that looks phenomenal. It's like $60. I've been eyeing it for a long time, but I've never been able to justify purchasing it. On topic, but how do you manage to handle multiple projects, videos, or otherwise? Does it look like I'm handling them? I'll give you a tip. It's not that I handle them. It's that I need them. This is something that I learned in therapy. But certain people with ADHD, we are compulsively, we are compulsed to do things. And that's always been sort of my curse, is that I do too many, start too many things, can never finish them. At some point you learn you just gotta double down, because what you need is the pressure. That is ultimately what you are hungering for. You need the pressure, because the pressure keeps you doing things. Oh, I gotta be careful here. Where would they put it there? So it's not so much that I'm handling them. It's more so that I am enslaved to them. And there are times where I have to force myself to slow down and actually relax. Twy gets something in my case about that all the time. I am terrible at relaxing. I've actually gotten even worse at relaxing in the last few years. Cool if I hang around? Yeah, Leo, go ahead. Chill out. Everyone's welcome here. This is just here to pass the time with everyone.
Yeah, you can press L. It's the first time I ever actually tried it. Turns out you don't just run away. Prepare to run away. Oh, that was a plus 1,000 points. You guys have. Yoink. Just illuminate the point. That sucks. I'll grab the other one.
It's really rewarding when you put something together with your own hands. I tried doing a custom with my Lego. Oh, jeez. Losing pieces is no joke. I tried doing a custom with my Legos, but nowadays I need to work on making the right space for it. You really do. Gotta take time to chill and play Magic the Gathering with friends to relax. You relax playing Magic the Gathering? I joke, of course. I play Magic too, although I only casually with friends, and I haven't seen them since I built my new deck, so, you know.
Where's the exit? Where's the exit? Oh my god! I don't know where the exit is. Not there. Where the fuck is the exit?
I don't know, Jared, where is the fucking exit?
We're getting stuck on, hello? There it is, I see it.
I've always... custom Lego is never quite enough for me.
It's just that easy.
It's like Minecraft and such, like, the blocky
Base.
stuff holds me back. I'd be looking up Ruby fan arts for making custom Grand Archive cards of the moment. Interesting. Is Grand Archive a Fate thing? Also, I need to get a cup of water. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. I should have paused the Pro Jared video. It's a card game. It's a pretty new card game. Think modernized Magic meets MiHoYo. Interesting. Alright, so now we're on to the next stage, which is sanding. And sanding gets really freaking annoying, but it produces good results. I can't even make out what fine grit that is. That's 400... I think these ones have seen better days. I'm just gonna swap out for new ones. I have new ones, right? I bought these. I cannot remember why. Are these all the same grit, I want to say? No, this is a full set. When I started looking into a month ago, I'm already bit by the bug to design my own cards. That's like me in tabletop games. I have a bite to design my own stuff. Maybe what I need after work? Oh, I hope I can be nice and relaxing for you. Alright. So what I need... I can't even make it. You can't... These are covered in dust. You can't make out what's on them. I'm just going to toss them, but I need at least... Is it 12,000? There's a 400 in here. There's a 600. I want to say it's a 200? might be worse. I mean, sometimes just game mechanics click differently with different people, and that can apply to cards as well. I'm really good at hearts. Oh, this is a set that came with multiple of each. Oh, that's wonderful. Alright, so I got one of 12,000. 9,000. 8,000. We will not be using all of these. Gotta pile these up separately so I can keep track of them all. 7,000, 7,000, 6,000, 6,000, 3,600, 3,600. This is the part of the stream where I stack sanding sticks. 3,200, 2,400, 2,400. 1,800, 1,800, and then 1,500. What do you run? I haven't figured out what it would fit me. I just had fun with Jin, but honestly, I prefer a waifu. I find it arguably the worst. Might be my need to work. Okay. So we don't need these. And then arguably we don't need all of these. We just need like every other one. So I'm going to split these up as well. That should be good. Probably should finish it off with a polished grit, but what are you gonna do? This is more involved than I was expecting. Well, to be fair, I'm being extra about it. This is like someone who's done Gunpla for a couple of years now, levels of things. Like I said before, I've said it before, all you really need is the metal kit and a pair of nippers. That's all you really need. You can get by on that. Shoot, your Wi-Fi's acting up? Well, put it in its place. Let me see. Where's the other... Okay, we'll put that there. I'll put these in here. This is because I'm being extra and I want things to look really nice. Trust me, and it seems extra, but it's just certain steps. That's all it is. It's just like there's an order to things, and you take care of them. I just smelled the garlic on my breath. Wow. Let's just don't need the nippers anymore for now. Put these, just lay these out so I remember where they are. And now it's called Weebs of the Shore. That is hilarious. Or the mini resin kits, but these do seem interesting. These are fun. I have a lot of fun with these. Now, you dab a little bit of water on these so you retain the grit, because the grit can and will wear off. And you just go to town, where the nubs were. A pair of nipples instead of nippers. Everyone comes with those, yep. Though if I could use that to model kit, I'd be very impressed. Do I have a lower grit? I have a bunch of these grit sticks that I never used. Do I have anything more? Oh, I have some coarse ones in here. 80 grit. Yeah, no, I don't have what I need, I don't think. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. This is more like it. You guys go back in there. 800 grit. That would be what I'm looking for. The rest of these can get lost. Don't need the 80 grit. Jesus Christ, I don't want to destroy the thing. I'll take care of that later. Alright. Let's try the 80 grit first. Or 800 grit. Because you want to get the fine details later. This nub only just needs a little bit of a grind down to make sure it's smooth. There we go. Do the tip here. Jen, Kominga, Diana, Maguka Diana. You guys talking card games over here. Don't even play them on motorcycles. I know there are people that go even crazier where they sand away like the seams between connecting parts, and I don't even know why you would do that. That just seems like overkill. Put this out of my way. I got it. Oh. don't know how involved that section is going to be. Don't even wait for this. Definitely getting a new deck about a month, where she has a floofy magical girl dress and a staff that brings her. That'll be her magical bow. Oh, neat. I completely forgot the paper towel. Whoops. The thing with sanding is that sanding takes a long time. It's easily the most intensive part of the process. Everything else goes by really quick comparatively. Are you just sanding the nubs down, or are you there's something else? Just sanding the nubs down. Depending on the part, it might not be as important because it'll be inside, but I like to be at least do all of them on one grit at the very least at the very beginning, because connectors might be a problem. We'll make sure everything's at least a little bit flush. I gotta wash this off now. I thought the inside would be more important to sand down for fitting parts together. It is, but what's important for the exterior is to make it look nice. And that's where you do a lot of sanding. Sanding to make it smooth and glisten and make sure it's all on the same level. A lot of people use clear coat as well, like a paint at the very end. I don't. Unless I'm actually going to be painting. I like the look of the sleek plastic. It's nice. It's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere. Yeah, that's about right. this piece, I can't tell the best way to sand it.
Take out Pinocchio.
I backed a Reaper Minis kit years ago, and I have dozens, if not hundreds, of minis that I eventually got to try my hand at painting. I am nervous about painting any of my kits. I have the paints ready for the Nightfall, but I just I feel like I'm gonna fuck something up. Paint and me feel like they don't mix. Maybe it's because I've always been a bad painter. You know, I'm not that kind of artist. I'm a writer. Oh, another one of these corners. What is a Reaper's Minis, by the way? Oh, makes D&D minis. Okay. I have a couple, but they're currently taped down. I could show them off, I guess. I've got a couple of Hero Forge minis.
Happy Crumb. As they polish the Nevron flags, Pinocchio super bellows of passion. It bullies Urso to sing together for his best friend. I like that Pinocchio just... Lune comes over to shush them, but ends up joining in the polishing. It takes a while, but finally Pinocchio is back to work.
I don't know how many layers of polishing I want to do on these.
Something like this. I should have joined with this. Oh, God. Nope. We are not putting that hair on. Nope.
What hair was that?
That's the fucking... Oh, God.
I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom and get a drink. I'm going to pause that video. I'm not going to let it run for you guys. That's simply because I don't want a copyright strike. Even though I don't think Jared will do that, but, you know. Alright, so I'll be right back, lads. I return. Alright, my drink over here. My pink cup. Yeah, those mugs are great. They're excellent. Now where was I?
That's also why they made the rewards like something that's not important, like a Speedo for Minoko. It's one of those, if you want to do it, you can. Here you go.
And more copyright issues of the One Piece stream. I wish I didn't miss that one either. What's going on here? Just chill, relaxing. Just finished Expedition 3. I have mixed feelings on that ending, but it's still game of the year so far. Interesting. You have energy for coding. Excellent. I'm glad you have energy for coding. That's another thing on my list right now, which is I actually just got on Humble Bundle for like $25. I got like $500 worth of tutorials for like full-on educational classes for Godot. And I would love to learn how to program gaming. But that's gonna have to take a back seat. What are you playing? I'm not playing anything. I'm watching a stream by Pro Jared. He shed his feathers to do Gunpla. Yeah. I came out from behind the. Are those Legos? It's Gunpla. It's model kit building. I'm building a robot, effectively. Non-functional. I mean, it's just a model, but But I do describe it as like sort of like Lego. It has a lot of overlap. You know what? I should be smart. I need another napkin. Can Gunpla? What's that? He's gonna whip out guns and shoot stuff. It's Gundam Play. This is a old box from the Elfrith Gundam, but it's you make a model kit of. This is what I'm doing. I'm building these. Camera. This stand is not as stable as I would like it to be. There we go. Any updates on fixing Ruby? Just wondering, curious. There will be an announcement very soon with that. Kunpai? Do you mean Kanpai? Kanpai is Japanese for cheers. But yes, there will be there's big movements in fixing Ruby. You guys can expect stuff soon. But I can't tell you what yet. Try my hand at ROM hacking before I go into full game design. That would probably be smart. I forgot how much I hate sanding. Because this is so tedious. It's the worst part of model kits.
The flight stays on her even after she dies.
Gunpla battles? Yes. There's Gundam build drivers or something like that. I've played with RPG Maker. I've played around with it. It's interesting to say the least. There's a lot of limitations that I don't like about it. I have some rudimentary gameplay design in my blood. I did like Alice 3D back in high school. Blender I've played around with. Unity I've played around with.
So many attacks. Relax. Fuck.
Time for your videos. Well, first of all, it's not really a sign-off. It's just me being like... Not that I'm not... it's not really a sign-off. Stories, what does Kanpai mean? Kanpai, that's what I say. Kanpai is the Japanese word for cheers in Japanese, and the reason I say that is because I'm taking a swig. And yes, I am a weeb. Ich spreche Sie Japanisch. Do ほとんどほとんどほとんど日本語が話せます。ちょっと日本語。
Alright, reserve team. This guy isn't even that tough. Come on.
This is the one that just snapped right off. That's convenient for me. is a word used for cheering someone up. Is that word also used for cheering someone up? No, it would not be.
Just hit him.
I mean, not that you say cheers to someone who's sick.
I'm edging.
It's cheers as in, you know, I have a drink, you have a drink. Cheers. Let's drink to our health. It's that kind of cheer.
Prick.
日本語を勉強しなきゃ? I'm not familiar with that conjugation at the end, but I assume you study Japanese, which is, yeah, 日本語がなれます。なります。I gotta study Japanese, I just learned. Oh! Yeah, I have not studied my conjugation in a while. I've mostly been doing definitions. I'm very slow at it. Just today I finished my Anki, my first full deck in Anki, which is like 2,000 something words. And that doesn't mean I'm finished with it, it just means that I got to the end of it and I'm studying them all simultaneously now. I used to know conjugation better. Not doing would be bad. That sounds very Japanese. I'm just thinking, where did you learn Japanese? On my own. Duolingo was a good starting place, but it's not great. Anki is a great vocabulary card system. Jisho is great for just dictionary access. And WaniKani I have to get back to. That one's important. But there's plenty of sites online to learn. It's absolutely not hard anymore to find resources. I would highly recommend learning the symbol systems first. Hiragana especially is incredibly useful to understanding Japanese. Once you understand hiragana and katakana, everything else will become a lot easier. Learning it very casually, leaning on some free resources and of course Jisho, but I'm not really actively studying it. Yeah, no, same here. Same here. I do it every single day though. I make sure I do it every single day, and that usually gets me by. Since Team Jack occasionally do movie reactions, can you check out some bootleg rip-off copycat movies? Of what? Like, we have like Backstroke of the West that we want to do at some point. Although that's going to be a patron reward thing. My dream is to be able to capable of doing manga doujinshi translation. There's just so much that doesn't get translated either officially or unofficially. Then just do it. The best way to... One of the ways that I learned, my friend Vivi, who, she's a streamer herself. She's also one of the Sketchy Huntsmen. Vivi Tan. She helped me learn. We read together for a while. Every week we would read a little bits or a chapter of Yotsubato, which is a great little comic about a girl named Yotsuba. It means with Yotsuba. It's a adorable little manga, and we found a good site to translate it. It doesn't exist anymore. I can't find it anymore. But it had the English and the Japanese that you could flip between on the fly, and so you could learn very easily that way. And basically, we just sat there reading through it in Japanese and just trying to figure out what it said. And that was one of the most rewarding experiences. Translating things on the fly was one of the most rewarding experiences. Just do it. The more you do it, the more you expose yourself to the language, and the more you actually put it into the translators and such, the more you will begin to understand it on your own. You'll be like, oh no, I recognize that pattern. It's all pattern recognition. That's all language is. So the more you expose yourself to the patterns, the more you understand the patterns. It breaks down pretty simply there, I think. Really need to shave. Pay no attention to the absolute disaster that is my face right now. Oh, cool, neat. I'm glad to see that place got some traffic. Did that close? Or no, I remember it changed its format and it wasn't anywhere near as good. I don't know if it's even still around. Alright, so we're done with the first layer of sanding. Now we are on to second layer of sanding. They do progressively get faster because you're more about shining than anything else. So now because of copyright strikes. Oh, that sucks. That makes sense though.
Alright, now we continue straight to the north. Progress, presumably.
Honestly, something like that could work out great on a subscription service. So if they needed to make a deal or something, that could work.
This guy's phase? Hi. Did anyone ever told you? The heck about it? Okay. Got it. That did like no damage. Oh, he moves 4 times in a row? Yeah, shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be here. Oh my god. You know what? We're gonna go the easy route. This ain't happening. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
My job is mobile though, so I'm having to lean on audio that I can learn while driving. Currently listening to Learn Japanese Pod. Oh, neat.
I cannot believe. This is the boss. Can't believe. Okay. We got a banger song.
I can certainly understand that.
Now he goes 3 times in a row.
Learning on the move is never fun. Showa Gamera movies being inspired by Godzilla. I would also be interested in suggestion on difference between the work being inspired and simply stealing an idea. Interesting. I have a friend that's a huge Gamera fan. In fact, you can find. Actually, I don't even know if they're on our channel anymore. I don't know if they got taken down or not. They get copyright claimed all the time. We did an abridged together. We actually did. He did one for the first Gamera film from the 90s, and then I helped him do the second, and it was just a bunch of nonsense. But we had fun doing it. So I've seen at least 2 of the Gamera films. To be fair, I need to watch more Godzilla films. Oh, if you want to talk about stealing an idea versus being inspired by one, ask Twy about that and the Godzilla and the original Godzilla, because it was a stolen idea, all things considered.
Fucking here and there and everywhere. Someone found our shop. I don't know if this person was thinking that we never have flags. Our location is terrible. We should have many more flags. We are, after all, the most talented people in the field. We take great pride in our craft. After this demonstration is yours? Why not? Our field? Weapons. Oh. It's just a demonstration, right? Like, can we chill after this?
Nihongo Go Kantepe, which is all short episodes fully in Japanese with pretty simple construction, like a natural immersion. Like each episode focuses on a single word or phrase a lot. Ah, okay. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that for German when I was in high school.
Wildfire.
We always made fun of it like hell because it was terrible, terribly acted, terribly produced. Not really all that educational, honestly.
Strive. Small virtual stance. See how that's what we're doing.
One thing that you will find very common with Gunpla, the way at least I do it, I rub down the water to make sure I get all the grime off, but I end up rubbing the skin off my thumb, my fingers because of it. You gotta be careful to take this and pace it, or else you're gonna go raw on your skin.
Okay, and like that. Good. Make sure he burns. He'll die eventually. Twilight stance. We got all the points. Phantom blade.
You know, Godzilla was inspired by the Beast from 2020 and later grew to be its own thing. Same thing with Star Wars and Flash Gordon. Gamera also grew beyond Godzilla. Yeah, it is.
Tell you they felt great. They know our feelings. Now you've got the power of our weapons.
I believe Gamera and Godzilla have only crossed over once, which is a shame because I think they would really do well doing that together
So, what do you say?
more often.
Oh, a bunch of golf balls. I don't have this one at all. Plus one to golf, actually. Yes.
I'm only gonna do 3 layers of sanding.
I'll see what my buddy made. Oh, I stopped. Oh, my partner in crime here doesn't talk, just like the rest of us market He also sells some. Okay. I don't have Dimiterum, Gothmusin, or the Borderline. That's all.
Let's see. Because honestly, this is filing away pretty nicely. And I didn't want it to be a super intensive build. God, I'm looking forward to the end of the stream because then I can get a sandwich. I get a sandwich now, but I don't want to end up eating plastic. Because Lord knows that'll end up happening. There's so many flakes around. You can see the little pile of plastic right here. Do-do-do-do. We have to call it quits on the Yang side of things. It's dang hard to find simple action pieces amid all the barely not safe for work art on Pixiv and at ArtStation. Woo, lad! You know what? No balls. Use not safe for work art. Just Yang flopping her goods all over the place. Just use it.
Got a shop? Hello? Repair for sealed. I have ponytail for today.
What's over the idea of making a blatant ripoff of movies, taking whatever original ideas were in it and restructuring it to be an original project? I call it ripoff rewrites. Look, theft is the heart of creativity. Steal your ideas, reorient them, remake them in however you want. Acknowledge your original theft. But always make sure you're evolving it. That's hell of a piece of advice, man. You're talking to a man that's eventually going to be covering not safe for work visual novels on here. And by that I mean basically porn games. Because they are just basically porn games. Because I find the writing in them an interesting topic of discussion. Why is it so hard to get this one little bit? Okay. fun race.
I missed it by a second. 38 seconds. Nope, not how I can do it much faster than that.
Damn, this is gonna be hard. Got a little tiny.
Chat, you see ways to do this faster. Let me know.
I'm not gonna do it anytime other project holding my attention, but it's an interesting creative exercise that could help new writers with expanding on creative ideas. Oh, absolutely. That sounds like fun.
More rice faster? Oh, let's go! Gold medal. Here we go. We got it. Oh, hell yeah. Finally, something horny. Let's do the titties. Yeah, you're welcome.
Speaking of getting horny on stream,
Damn, Verso, how do I get to that?
how not safe for work all kinds denigrated. I think there's lines to consider when planning to share work with general audiences. Absolutely. I people treat not safe for work as disposable, and I think that's really disrespectful to the nature of art. Especially when you consider things like Lolita are considered high literature.
Hold your phone real close. Get close to your get close to your fingers. So you did a little idle stance. His dick's jiggling. Yep. Sure is. You're welcome.
I don't want to risk getting kicked. Like, I'm not sure how many kids may be playing Grand Archive, but I don't want to risk getting kicked.
Rushing this one. This was nowhere near as much as Avarice. So is
So I read that as Grand Theft Auto, and it's true that a lot of kids are going to be playing Grand Theft Auto when they really shouldn't be.
the ultimate release. What everyone really wants. Swimsuits. Luminescence, thanks for the prep as well.
Yeah, I always wonder if I see like a pro Gunpla person look at my work and just be like, "Oh my god, he's terrible." That'd be just make my day.
Oh, SK.
Um, did I just oversand this?
Let's go for another mistake.
I did.
This is supposed to be the hard one. Anything killing? I don't think she's okay. Oh, I don't think any of us are okay. Griffin Walls?
More over the line than I am. And again, I try to keep my head down because of certain reactions people have. What, are you a kid? Let's go up to the 2,400 grit.
Great. I hate it. Hello. Person? Oh, no, not a person. Just a... Okay. Taxi? Yep.
That's wacky.
Is that a lot? Thanks, I think. That's not separate.
Now, my point is that despite my age and my proclivities, I'm very straight-laced and easily flustered, to be honest. What proclivities? Okay, better question is, like, what proclivities do people, like, what would you be sharing with people? Because I share some weird shit with people at times. I mean, I'm on the internet. Christ's sake knows my definition of normalcy is twisted beyond belief.
So you guys are doing like dodge and Yep.
So yeah, many people poorly made stories have several nuggets of good idea waiting to be uncovered. Just look at the sequel trilogy. Yeah, that's true, but that's not too surprising. People have good ideas all the time. What people don't realize, and this is where a lot of bad writing comes from, is that execution is king. An idea alone, you might as well just tell to someone and say, hey, that's cool together. Might as well have not made a story at all if you know, all that counts is the cool idea. And I find that very... There's a lot of people out there that try to denigrate the art of writing by saying, oh, the concept is good, so it must be good. It's like, that's not how that works.
Grab this. Just one. Shoot her. Blah, 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 blah. Ah, charm. My watch. Blah, 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 blah. Guess I didn't even mess with you. But your dance is nothing to the power of a gun.
Is that a connector piece? Am I overdoing this? Yeah, I'm overthinking that. All right, well, that's fine. But yeah, no, it's the reason why we distinguish the good from the bad stories is because they take a lot of effort to actually make a cool idea into something truly great. Matrix wasn't... Have you read the Thrawn trilogy? I have no interest in it. I've heard about it, but I'm of no interest. Honestly, quite burned out on Star Wars. And Star Trek. Oh no, I can still probably watch DS9.
Music's hauntingly beautiful. Amazing. Ah, there is. Yeah.
I've got messages I need to check. Oops.
Look at this. Shield Infinity. 50% weekend half of Shield for single game damage all the way through the release of Shield. Drop your auto. Shell.
The Weekends movie? What's the Weekends movie?
First strike. All right. Line him up.
I should wash this off, shouldn't I?
All right, done.
It really does suck now that I think about it, just how much I am burned out on a lot of the science fiction franchises I grew up on. Star Wars, Star Trek. I have no interest in their new properties. I can't get excited for them.
One of these.
That's what happens when you get burned one too many times. I don't know if that's fair to Star Trek, though, because I've not necessarily gotten burned by them. I actually liked the Abrams films, all things considered.
He's about to jump. Yep. Huh. Say no to that one. Okay, so I thought the source was before. Mulligan. I wasn't ready. Thought my L was fast. Oh, I guess. Sealed.
How long do you think the Gunpla will take? I expect more than one stream. Oh, almost certain. I mean, this is only the torso that I'm working on right now. I don't expect to even do it all in a stream. I probably will do a lot off stream as well. I just wanted to kind of at least get a base plate for what I do so I can, show you guys exactly the process. And once the process is, there, I can just kind of hop in whenever and do this if I'm on the whim. I feel like I was rambling a lot there. See, Andor, it finished its run, and it's the best Star Wars related thing out there right now. I completely recommend it to anyone. It's on my list of things to watch. I've not even watched season one. I've been going through the EFAPs talking about it, and it sounds pretty awesome. And what's nice is I have a terrible memory, so I will no doubt forget everything they've discussed. But remember that everything they said was good about it. But Andor definitely intrigues me. It's like the kind of story that I would want to tell in the Star Wars universe. I've had this idea for Star Wars for a while now. I would love to tell a racing story in Star Wars. And this is what always gets me about people and pisses me off when I hear about Andor failing, is that people just want to see the same thing over and over again. When you have a setting like that, you have so many multifaceted things you can do with it. I think a racing story would be amazing. There's actually a really good Little Witch Academia fanfic called Little Racer Academia? God, I'm trying to remember the exact name of it, but it was all about racing in space, and it was just amazing. Can't recommend it enough. I think it is Little Racing Academia. It's a very highfalutin premise for an AU, but it works really well, and the author really did a great job with everything they did in that. But I would love to make a story like that. I have a lot of fun ideas, different challenges and the like. You mean pod racing? I don't know if I would do pod racing. I was thinking more like speeder bike racing. Maybe some other vehicle. Yeah, can you imagine the toys you could get out of that kind of movie? And that's why another reason not to make it pod racing is that you don't want to repeat toys. Why would you want to do that? Pod racing is cool, but you limit yourself to certain species because it's supposed to be humans can't do it. I guess that's part of the challenge, is you would have a human cast, but who knows? Maybe it was Little Pilot Academia that I mentioned. Maybe that was it. That sounds more right. It might be Little Pilot Academia. Same thing. It's Little Pilot Academia is a racing story. I gotta be careful here. It can't be loud. Customize your own Star Wars vehicle. Have you ever heard of Star Wars Outlaws? I joke, of course. I would like more Star Wars with RPGs elements. Certainly. Not full RPGs, but something like that. Customizing your own Star Wars vehicle would be great. segment quota where aliens take the front and center racing. Yeah, that it just occurred to me you could do that. I don't know. There's something about pod racing that doesn't appeal to me in that same way. I feel like it would just be aping the prequels. But I also get that, you know, speeder bikes ain't exactly original either. So I don't know. Maybe I just prefer speeder bikes to pod racing, even though I think pod racing is pretty neat. It's a fun concept. It just doesn't appeal to me particularly. It's probably more easy to sell, though. You know, capitalizing on that nostalgia factor. And hey, the video game in arcades was dope. I wish I could play that more. I'm working on my own Star Wars sequel project. A full alien cast, though, that you have to remember, you have to keep budget in mind when you do that. I would love for there to be practical ways to do it. Like, I would think, in my speeder thing, one of the things I wanted the pit crew, one of them to be a, oh, what were they? They were the people that did the clones. Why am I blanking on their name? The tall guys, the blue skin and the long necks. I think he would be a great... that would make for a really great, like, pit crew member. Remember having a pod racing arcade game in my local... Yeah, the arcade game is incredible. Because you have, like, the full control steering. Yeah, Kaminoans. Kaminoans. A Kamino Saber Dart. How could I forget? Alright. Chat. I could sand more. And I'm going to. I was going to give you a choice, but no. I'm going to sand one more layer, and I think then I'll be good. 3,000 grit? How is this looking? You know, honestly, the sanding looks fine enough as it is. It's actually really well made, all things considered. I think we'll move on to the next part, which is the fun part, because it's just assembling things. So, normally, now that we're putting things together, you go in, or I like to go in. Don't tell me with my heart like that. Sorry, I'm indecisive right now. I don't like sand. You go in with a marker to basically emphasize all these little crags and crevices. So you make them stand out especially strong against one another. So you get something a little bit stronger, and I don't have this up. Damn it. You can see that it pops a lot more, the lining, which is what you want. And I usually do it more extreme than most, where I really, like, every single nook and cranny I get into that I can reach. Even things that I know aren't going to be seen, because even if they're seen a little bit, having that definition helps. And what's great about this is you don't need to be super accurate, because it all comes off with just a rub of the finger. There's a lot of rubbing in this, now that I think about it, in Gunpla. You rub a lot of things. But you just rub, basically you just fill it in and rub it off. course, you can't always get into all these crevices. Oh wait, this has dots to fill. Alright, and now we rub it off. Get my fingers all nice and blackened. Like a good salmon or something like that. Oh my god, some blackened mahi mahi would be wonderful right about now.
I don't know what the game wants from me.
This is a pretty smooth port. There's not much to detail here.
I missed that guy.
Basically, wherever there is a crease, that's where you want to put the marker. And now you're toying with my stomach. Yeah, you and me both. And now we can actually assemble something. So you find the instruction, you line it up just properly. So this goes on this side by the looks of it. Yes. So now they snap together. They snap together. There we go. There we go. First part. Everyone, I got a favorite droid from Star Wars. K2O. You are being rescued. Do not resist. Is it K2 or K2SO? The droidicas are neat too. Thank you, Pro Jared. That's necessary. Alright, let's see. So this goes like... Nope. Oh, you know, yes, it does. This goes like this, and then folds down. Okay. So that's what we've been looking for.
Oh, yeah, Dad. It's been so long. We spent surfing on the moon. Whoever built this Coliseum sucks.
K2SO is correct. Excellent, excellent. I mean, you can't go wrong with Alan Tudyk. And to be fair, he had like the most emotional journey in that film.
Whoever built this place sucks.
I really wish Rogue One hadn't been nerfed. I feel like that was intentional. Because you shouldn't be able to care too much about these characters. In the 90s, I had two VHS as someone who grew... The cartoons. Like, Ewoks? I know about Clone Wars, but that's early thousands. Or that's mid to late thousands, actually.
Oh, what are you? Give me your stuff.
Alright, that's there. I've got a crick in my ribs. Oh. All right.
Shock attack delayed its flight? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, counter. Yeah. Counter away.
Droids, the Pirates, and the Prince, and the other I think was called the Great Ewok Adventure. Interesting. I think I have heard of those, but I've never watched them. That's a little early for my taste. If I'm being complete, well, no, it would probably been around my time, but never would have watched it. I wasn't really big in the Star Wars until the prequels. And that's just because that they came out when I was a kid. So
Alright, 9 points. Sword ballet. Chop, chop, chop. More crits, more crits.
is a show that exists. I like it, but if you weren't fond of Clone Wars, then you probably wouldn't like Rebels. I have no interest in either of them. It's one of those like great victims. I just had like the movie. I remember seeing the ads for the movie, and that the movie was just terrible. Like I could tell, like the movie trailers did not pass the sniff test.
I got a bonus to flight off. Alright, I am in defensive stance, which is not ideal. Fire swing, a lot of damage to get that set up.
Also, show that exists takes place during the sequel era, and unlike Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Star Wars Rebels, I don't hear any discussion on it, which is curious. I don't know if anyone knows it exists. Okay, but it never made a big impression on me. The closest I came to Owen I Love is for Spaceballs. Spaceballs, dude, I hate it so much. I watch Spaceballs so much that it's no longer funny to me. I cannot physically laugh at it anymore. I am just that numb to it.
Dramatic finish! Controversy by the board. Hell yeah. Go with that. He wasn't here.
Alright, so now put this in here. Yes? Is that correct? I think it is. Now I take this. I put this in here. Alright, there we go. You seen Hardware Wars? I've never heard of that. So you can see now, a little bit of the torso done. I'm gonna rub off some more of this ink. You can see now my fingers are inky. So you get to rub it off with your fingers. I've heard of Hardware Store by Weird Al Yankovic. That's a great song. I highly recommend it. Probably one of his best. Alright, so I got this done, and then this one.
Hi, ball of yarn to my balls. Shoot your friend, okay? Oh, not you too.
I don't believe if I'm not liking. Oh, shice. Gotta be careful when you drop things. You can always lose things pretty easily. Here's an interesting question for you guys. When playing an RPG of any stripe, would you prefer a weapon upgrade system that upgrades the weapons that you have, or would you prefer one where you constantly swap out with new loot?
I think weapons is a good topic for me, I mean, right now, I found a bunch of so I got my but stuff like
Oh, oops.
fires,
Rest of the game mechanics, I guess that's fair. So it's probably the lower budget, hence the hardware. Okay. I kind of figured with a name like that. Has anyone here seen Thumb Wars?
As I get older, I wonder, can you even ever truly know someone else? Then again, how can you truly know themselves? Everyone. There be art, there be audience. Aren't we all pursuing this unattainable thing? We lie to ourselves all the time, don't we? About ourselves. Yeah, stop. Then the things we do
So Jared just got to a part of Expedition 33 that's just hitting you with a frickin' bash of existential crises. Old Pokemon player. Have different weapons do different things, fill different niches. Some may be statistically stronger, but nothing can do everything. That's not bad. I actually quite like. I think Resident Evil 4 is one of those games that strikes that perfect balance of everything is like functional. The only issue I have with Resident Evil 4 is that not every single one. There's not enough niches to fill. There's just a lot that's just like damage is almost always better as opposed to something more variety based. And I think that's the only way you would improve that combat system even better. But they're balancing that with realism.
Please die? She stabbed herself?
Yeah, Control was great in many ways, but the gameplay, the upgrade system never quite clicked with me. I thought that was actually kind of annoying. Okay, so this goes here, like so. Ooh. Okay. See what you're putting down.
Also silenced? I'll thank God you're not silenced. Makes me love it. No silenced.
What the hell is Disgaea? I've heard that before, but I've never actually looked into anything about. I presume it's a game. I presume it's an RPG of some sort. Flung controls, you have to look for outside resources to find out specific mobs drop specific materials. Okay, no, I just don't like material crafting systems like that. This Gaia, by the way. Guild 6 pleasure number go up storyline is basic anime plot. Okay, fair enough. So I should. What I'm hearing from the chat is I continue calling it Disgaea, right? Yeah, Disgaea. Okay, good. Good. We're all in agreement there. Oh, there's a lip here.
Alright, so we're back to the old, like, no damage.
Chat, not gonna lie, I am hungry as hell, so I'm rushing a little bit. Not being as careful as I probably should with this first step, but you know what? I'm content with it. And what I'm happy with is kind of how you did you know there's a D2 Clone Wars micro series by the guy behind Samurai Jack? Yeah, no. The Gendy Tarkovsky Clone Wars. That was the original Clone Wars animated series. And it was awesome. That's where I really learned to love General Grievous, and then he was terrible. Oh, hey, Yui. How's it going? Just having a nice chill stream here as I'm doing my Gunpla work. And so now, this connects where? Oh.
It's halfway to break. Got 3 of them at least.
Like. This feels wrong. Why does this feel wrong? Oh, is this on backwards? No, it's not. Oh, it's on upside down. Oh. Oh. I see. Gotta be careful about that. Sometimes you get things wrong. Interesting. Such an interesting design choice. Okay. Painting class. Ooh, that sounds like fun. In perspective, played Disgaea 2 from PSP for like 60 hours just doing optional repeatable side quests before the second chapter. Oh my god. Level 70 usually, but max level is basically 99. My god. I mean, you can technically beat Dark Souls at level 1, so, I mean, technically. How many Godzilla movies have you seen? Like 5 or 6? Oh, sorry. Probably around 10. So you've got the Universal films. I've seen up through Godzilla vs. Kong. So that's 3 already. Shin Godzilla. I still need to see Godzilla -1. So I got 4. I've seen Godzilla 2000. That's 5. I've seen Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, the 2000s ones. So that's... I've lost count. What's your favorite Gojira, though? Shin Godzilla. Hands down. Though, differently, I also love Godzilla Final Wars. They're kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum for what I want to see with different Gojiras. You can't beat the moment of, like, you wouldn't hit a woman, and he just... It's like, it's one of the most amazingly misogynistic moments in film, and I unironically love it. Final Wars is peak. Final Wars is god-class meme material. Fucking ground troops fighting fighting kaijus. The motorcycle chase. Just an American wrestler as the main character, who apparently was supposed to be the frickin' incarnation of Godzilla. But no, Shin Godzilla is the best serious one. That's, so far, it's just so thematically tight and well delivered. Hideaki Anno hit it out of the park with that. do. Should we get the outline in? Yeah, no. Watch Minus One. Basically, my favorite is the Earth from the animated series. I think the biggest and chunkiest one. I have no idea if the animated I really hear very little about the animated series. Then again, the one person I typically hear Godzilla stuff from is my friend, who is insane. So, I remember enjoying the Godzilla American version, the Zilla animated series, for lack of a better term. What, just unplugged? That would be my webcam. All right, back. Okay, good. Heart attack. A lot of things should have been a 3-season anime. Episode Avengers similar to the Kong animated series, but the Kong can hide in a human body. I remember the Kong animated series being weirder. Yeah. Are we serious right now, computer? Can you stop disconnecting that? Thank you. How is this supposed to connect? Ah, there we go. Okay, is that supposed to be loose, I guess? Interesting. Every choice on this mech is just an interesting one, honestly. Oh god, there's so much detail on this. King Godzilla is hilariously bad, but there are some fun VFX things in there. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I remember there's a channel out there that does like death battles for kaiju and such, which is just a silly concept to me, and somehow they make a career off of it. But they suggested that like Zilla really should be redeemed and turned into what it was always destined to be, which is the Velociraptor compared to the T Rex. That's a really fun idea.
Come on. Yeah. Die, please. So close to death. Why hasn't it died? There we go. Never not had it. Got anti-charm. That's anti-scent. Nah. Fuck 'em.
I'm gonna try and fight my social anxiety tomorrow and jump into endgame grinding in Destiny. All right, well, have fun, man. Okay, let me do over here. Oh, so much more simple, yes. Okay. Have you ever watched Ultraman? I watched it when it was airing as a kid when they tried to make it a thing like Power Rangers back on the Saban era. No, it killed any interest I had in it. It was so slow and plodding. I don't know which Ultraman they were adapting from, but I just could not bear it. Sure, and get a big thanks for doing chill stream and chatting with us tonight. No, thank you guys for joining me. I mean, pizza just needs you. I hate Windows sometimes. Yeah, my Windows and cameras do not mix for whatever reason. I've had problems with cameras before. It's the first time I had it with this one, but whatever. But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys joined me for this. This has been a nice, relaxing little experiment. Okay, where does this? This. Oh. Oh. Interesting. Okay.
Man, y'all got like a bunch of windows. It's all cool. Okay, you don't want to see
And now, finally, the piece de la resistance. There goes the camera again. And we're back. Yay. Ultraman powered? I have no clue.
Yeah, and you pick those pretty often. I don't want to just swap them with
I also just don't like Ultraman's design. I find it very top heavy, which is, I think, unlike Power Rangers, which I actually thought had a nice balance to it. For the most part, not always, not always.
I just so often pick Mario and just stop doing it.
But I've seen some of the other Ultraman helmets, and they get ridiculous. Why is it keep doing that? Camera, please, please.
Almost there. Whoops. View optional. Wow. Okay. The other thing, yeah, the other thing that she sucks. Look at this. His tail from the button. Ah, okay. Sure did. Twice. 3 times. Fine. Is he on fire? Fabulous. Ooh, beat the darkness. Okay.
Camera, please.
Virtuos.
Talking about Ultraman Powered or Ultraman the Ultimate Hero, it's an Americanized version of the original Ultraman series. It would make a lot of sense. It was the '60s, so it was probably the '60s version by the looks of it, which probably is why it was so slow. It was also the 3-minute time limit that I just for some reason could never gel with.
It's done? Twilight. Twilight Flash. Chop. Still in virtual states. Use mark. Oh, did you say mark? Smashes his head in this. Mayhem.
I just remember I watched an episode of it and it was so boring it was putting me to sleep, and I was so excited to watch it because I loved Power Rangers back then. I still love Power Rangers now, even though it's goofy as hell and way less serious than I thought it was.
So sick of monsters eating us.
All right. All right, and there we go. Monster designs for that show is great. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Monster design is a really important aspect. I cannot deny that. I love a good monster. But here we go. This is what we spent all stream making, is the torso. Which actually, it came out looking really good despite the shortcuts I took. In spite of. I think it looks pretty good. Alrighty. Now, that's all we're going to do for tonight. I've got to clean up. There's lots of I got to reorganize because I made a mess. I don't know when the next time I'll do another stream like this. Hopefully, shortcuts you say is you oversanded at least one piece. Look, oversanding is a problem of technique, not a problem of effort. But yeah, I might do more of this off stream. I might do it more on stream. We'll just see where I'm at. These are supposed to be relaxed and nice and chill little things. But thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all had a little fun time and you relaxed with me. I suppose then I'll just catch you all guys on the flip side.